with my sister Beth, and we are at her farm. And we are going to do a little DIY with some Christmas wreaths. It's the holiday season, it's chilly outside, we've got a warm studio and some fresh cut greens from our property. And I thought I would take you all along to kind of learn a little something about holiday wreaths. I'll stay away. We have two different wreaths we can do today, and one is with a clamp machine, and then we have one that's hand tied that we can get from a like any kind of home what is it called decor.
Yeah.
Like Joann Fabrics. I don't know what's available to you, but any of the like Michael's craft stores. That's what I'm trying to say, a craft store. So this is one ring that we make the professional kind of wholesale orders that head out of our farm. So we make hundreds and hundreds of these. And but today, Daniel's here with us, and he's going to, with his mother, Carol, gonna make a hand-tied wreath on or just a regular ring that we can get from any craft store. So there's different sizes of these. And, but this is the simplest, and we're going to kind of take you through step by step. So Daniel, a lot of times what we're using is kind of a noble type vase. Not everybody in the country has this, but you have kind of a structure to it. And then we like to use some embellishments, which would be like this pine that we just cut. And then we also have some cedars and some juniper. And the juniper came from Bend area, which is one of my favorite places to forage. Smells super, super great. And then we also have some blue ice cypress, which also has that really beautiful blue color. So not only are we looking for some texture, we're looking for some smells. You get that really nice Christmas feel when you bring it into the house and it starts to dry. Or, you know, on your door as you enter. A lot of times people like that. You know, it's kind of a cozy feel just to welcome your guests. So go ahead and kind of pick through what you think. You can point, and I can kind of show you the length that we would be cutting, and we'll gather up some bits for our wreath.
Okay.
So many choices, right?
Yeah. I like that juniper because I love
Love the berries.
Yeah.
So go ahead and get some of that out here, and we'll set it up here on the table.
How much do you think we'll need?
We'll probably need about 12 or 13 bunches together.
Are we good? Or?
Yeah. And what we're looking for is not only the greenery, the long tips on it, that makes it easier for us to handle, but also getting some nice color to that berry. So as far as cutting, that's kind of a nice size, and we can cut this down if we don't need it, but, so I'm gonna have you go ahead and start cutting some of that up. Here, 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 you know, that length.
Is that too much yellow?
No, I think it's fine, because I think some of this we can kind of hide. We'll just cut off, and we call it editing. So you kind of, you make your wreath look good, and then you kind of pull out some of the bits that you don't like, because a lot of times they can get a little lopsided, or, you know, they just, I don't know. Especially when you're learning, it's not that easy. But it's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love what you guys chose. You kind of got a little bit of a icy blue, lots of texture, really, really great stuff to make a wreath. So I'm just going to go through and kind of show you guys how to do it and then turn you loose, okay? And I know that's scary, but you're going to do great. So you've got your wreath form here, and you're tied on really nice. Carol, you did a really good job. So now what we're going to do is, I like to start with this noble, which is nice and soft feel to it. It's not prickly. Some of the stuff we have is a little bit prickly. So I like to have something in my hand that is a pretty good feel. Like, like you're holding like a bunch of something that is just, you can barely get your hand around. That's gonna make a really nice full wreath. So if you're grabbing, I'm just gonna show you the first one and then I'm gonna turn you loose. So like here, this is a nice feel to me, and then I'm gonna take one of my bits that are kind of what we call an embellishment. So I'm really liking this. It's got the little cedar, I don't know, pine cones on it. I'm not sure the name of this. I could probably figure it out, but so that's kind of my first start. So, and you being left-handed, my only sister that's left-handed, right? I think. So you're gonna lay it here. I'm gonna show you the left-handed way. And then you're gonna take your wire and you're just gonna kind of go around, tug, pull really tight to yourself. Sometimes I kind of pull it right into my stomach area. And then I'm gonna go around one more time and do that same thing. Then I'm going to repeat that. So the snow bowl is kind of like your base, like when you're cooking
The foundation.
the foundation. It's flour. And then we've got fun things like cinnamon. And, you know, there's spices or sugar. So you're adding in different ingredients every single time. And you just want to be a little creative and then kind of repeat that pattern. It's that, do you remember in school when your teacher taught you patterns?
Right. Okay.
That's what we're doing. So anybody can do this. So then I'm going to lay that down on top and then just go around and keep going. So we're going to give you a turn at this.
Okay.
So here's your bit, and I might add just a little bit more, maybe a couple more pieces of the snowball to it, just to kind of, you feel that in your hand, and that's that, to get that.
It's like a tennis ball.
Exactly. It's like, you know, when I'm doing a bunch of flowers for the farmer's market or something like that, I want to make sure that when people pick it up, they feel that, like,
Right.
wow, this is a big bunch of flowers. It's beautiful. Same thing with wreaths. So then you just lay it on top, and I'm going to move some of this for you so you have a little bit firmer.
So right half on, or where am I going?
It's easier if you lay it down.
So laying it down flat on the table is the easiest.
I find it the easiest. Some people like to sit, some people like to stand. I like to stand. But you're going to just take your bunch and you're going to lay it right on top, but you kind of want to layer it over the bunch that we did already.
Oh, wow.
Then you're going to take your wire and go around and then just kind of tug.
Pretty.
There you go. And then go around one more time. Perfect. And then I just lay it down and find my next ingredients.
But Dan, what do you think we should do?
The juniper.
The juniper. Okay.
So we grab this stuff again?
Yeah, find a good, yeah, so there's, I put a pile right next to you. But,
Look at those berries. That is gorgeous. Does it smell?
oh yeah,
Ooh, that is Christmas.
that is Christmas.
Is that?
Yeah, feel that. I mean, does it feel really nice and full to you?
Yeah.
Maybe one more. Some bigger pieces are down there.
And so when you have the bigger piece like that, put it in the back so that you kind of build, you know, your bigger piece in the back, next up to smallest piece in the
Oh.
front.
Okay.
So then when you lay down that juniper right on top, then you'll get, it'll show really, really nicely.
Mm-hmm.
His hand's over here first.
Nice.
So maybe take this back one off. And then I think that's good. Yeah, there you go. That was kind of the bunch I was doing.
You got it?
And Carol, you can edit it, like you
Yeah.
feel it as well and say, Dan, you overdid yourself.
All right. And then like that.
Yep, and just keep tugging and turning and.
What are you doing, Beth?
It's you. I love how you guys are repeating that pattern. That's exactly what we're looking for in a wreath. And so you kind of look through. We've got a little bit of this soft, yummy stuff that we love. Got a couple of those juniper berries. Got the little tiny guys going on. The blue ice cedar, I think, or cypress, I guess that's the real term. I think we do another bundle of that.
Okay.
And, oh, you know what else we need? We need a little bit of this. That
pretty.
creates like a little bit of whimsy to it.
And it smells amazing. It's bringing me back to when Mom and Dad would cut the tree and all the different smells in the home. Mom cooking. So about right here, Beth?
Yeah.
How's that?
Ooh, that's pretty. I like that. The hardest part about finishing a wreath like this is the last section that you're going to want to add. So sometimes it's nice to have a little partner, which you are a great partner today. So you're going to hold this back for your mom, and then she's going to place her last bundle like right about here. But if you can imagine trying to wire that by yourself, you can do it, definitely. But it's nice to have a little bit of someone to hold this back, or even find, you know, just something that could kind of prop that back a little bit for you so that you can wind it on. So anyways, if you lay it down, Carol, might be easier, and then turn it towards you.
Okay.
And then you're gonna kind of come and start winding there. Go around a couple times.
And really pull.
Really pull, and then I'll teach you kind of how to anchor it off. And sometimes we have to add just a little bit more when we're done with that, if we feel like there's a hole or a space. But also this is a good spot that you could add in a ribbon, or if you wanted to put in pine cones, or, you know, we've got all these dried flowers that are left over from the fields that you can add in little bits and cover up spots that are what we call imperfections. Or we go through and it's called editing. So you might go through and say, I want more of a center here. So then I might clip just a few little pieces out so that you can have, you know, not so full of a wreath. Or it's lopsided when you hang it on the door and you need to cut a little bit away.
That's why I would always just do the hanging branches.
Yeah, the swag. So after we finished that last bit, I thought we were done, but looking at it, we definitely need to add a little bit more just to make it a little fuller and not so strange in that area. Yeah. Okay, so Dan, I'm gonna have you do that same thing, and Carol, if you turn it towards you, you're gonna have a better control over this last bit, because it definitely is, we're squeaking a big lot through there.
Oh yes, I see now.
Yeah, there you go.
And I think before I didn't really push it into that hole.
Mm-hmm. So now that our wreath is done, we've kind of done a little bit of a fluff to it. This is the fun part. So Dan and Carol, just pick out a few things that you want to embellish your wreath with. I kind of thought about like what is available to us in anybody's garden or yard, and I know Carol, you love lavender. So
Lavender is my favorite.
we have like a big bushel. It just happens to be right next to you.
I can just take this right now, right?
Yes.
All to the
I'll take your, yes. But even just taking little bits of it and kind of breaking off, and you can find this in your garden in the winter. Any of those dried bits or like seed pods, heads, you can, some people like to spray paint them like gold or bronze or something like that, just to kind of give it a little bit of a shimmer. But I just take little bits of this and just kind of add it in, and it creates, I mean, we kind of have this blue kind of silvery feel to it, so it just adds a little pop of something. So I'll let you do some of that. So another nice thing is just finding, you know, when you're out on a walk with your family, you guys hike a lot, so if you find some interesting pine cones or even just dried moss bits, you kind of have to be careful about foraging, but anything that's like along the path that's just kind of laying there, I might pick it up depending on where I'm at, and use it for later in a wreath.
Well, that's kind of neat too, because you can look back and, you know, it was a place or special walk with your kids.
Yeah, so a couple, this last summer, Braden and I, our son, were at the beach, and they had a day where you could just pick up any of the driftwood.
Oh, wow.
And there was a ranger there that was helping us pick up different bits and pieces, and Braden's like, let's bring some of that back for our wreath making classes. And yesterday, when one of the gals was making her wreath, I noticed she used some of that driftwood. She just kind of tied it on. It was kind of a modern feel with that, lots of grasses, and then it just suited her personality, which was super fun. So I think finding things that kind of speak to you throughout the year, and I think taking your kids out, even little ones, and just being able to talk to them about what's in nature, what's around us, what can we use, what can we just skip for free. You know, don't go chop down people's trees or you know, steal from their yard. Always ask, you know.
Right.
And a lot of people are just like, yes, please, take my pine cones.
Right.
And thankfully, we live close to my parents' house, and they've got lots of pine trees and lots of different kinds. And so then we're able to get some really fun ones to be able to use through our classes and share with other people as well. So
This is great. Yeah, that is really neat. It makes it that much more special and meaningful.
here, one is just this beautiful red plaid. And then we also have this kind of blue plaid. I think that might look nice with Carol's eyes. So
that looks
what do you
great.
think? Dana, you want to pick one?
I kind of like the blue because since we've already done a lot of like blueberries and the lavender and stuff, I think it just matches really well.
Yeah, and it kind of blends in with the wreath, which I kind of like, because sometimes, like if you were to use something a little bit more bold, it looks really fun and Christmassy. But since we're using those blues, we're using more of a natural feel to the wreath, I think this is a good choice. So good job, praise. So Carol, to make a bow is probably one of the most intimidating things about a wreath. And we get this question a lot. It's like, oh my gosh, how do you make a bow? So what I like to do is just give myself plenty of room, and then you start with a tail. And it's almost like when you're learning to tie your shoes.
Right.
Your mom would sit there and say, make 2 bunny ears. So basically that's what I want to do. I have like a nice pinch with it gathered, and these ones I want to keep about the same size. Then we're going to pinch that again right in the center. And then I make it just a slightly, probably 1.5 inches longer like that. Pinch. And same on this side.
Oh.
And then we cut. And then we'll tidy up the ends later. I'll take my pre-cut wire, because that makes it easier, because otherwise you're like holding things in your teeth.
Right.
And then you want to pull this way. And then just do the bread tie thing where you squeeze and turn really fast.
Okay.
Your turn. Okay.
All right. So. All right. So
I'm not going to let you fail.
No.
Do you want a table to...
And then the same size about.
Yeah, so then this one, you want to just basically, I sometimes turn it.
Oh.
And then you're going to
twist
go
it.
back this way, the opposite
Okay.
way. You're all thumbs today, Carol.
Yes. And then a
A little bit
larger.
longer. See, it's not that easy. And then
Wait, so how did you do that twist?
you just basically held, scrunch it in, and then again this way, and scrunch it in. You're almost there. You almost got it. It's looking great, Carol. Okay, so now we're just going to take our little twine right through here, gather it all, and let go with your thumbs. It's okay, it's not going to fall apart. Now twist it super, super tight. Keep going.
Is that tight enough?
Yeah, but keep twisting, because otherwise it's going to come apart.
Just like a bread.
Bread tie.
Okay.
Okay. Now she has a bow. And it looks great. It's a little lopsided, but it's okay. It's going to look great once it's on.
Twist it where we thought would look best. And then you just tie it again.
Yeah, just like the bread tie twist. You just twist around.
Voila.
You can't fix this, Michelle.
Can we use this too?
Yeah, those are great. I love them. I think they look fantastic in your wreath. So with the pine cones, we just need to use a little bit of wire at the base of them, and then we'll kind of figure out how many do we want to use. I kind of like place them around, you know, not too many, because we have, you know, maybe 3. I always like odd numbers, so 3 to 5, that kind of thing. With this, I feel like there's so much going on with your wreath that probably 3 will work just perfectly. But I love it. To do a pine cone, you're going to take a piece of wire, and again, I like to cut it longer than I actually feel like I need it. And you kind of weave your way through the bits that are kind of open, like that. And then again, it's the thread tie, twist, and then you have your little separated piece. And then I'll kind of figure out, so I've got 2 here where I want it, and again, just like we did with the bow, kind of weave my way through, and then feel in the back, tie it. Just,
Okay.
again, that twist tie.
So I think all these years I've been overthinking it.
Yes. It's really, really simple. I mean, it's basically, you pop these in, you just kind of fed them through. If you're in a high wind area, you might hot glue them in, or we use what's called a cold glue, which you can get sometimes at craft stores. It's kind of hard to find, but hot glue things in, you can do that. But anything heavy like a pine cone, I would definitely wire in. You gonna try one?
Sure.
Yeah.
You just twist it.
So once you got through, you just want to twist so that you have a nice taut in there. And then Carol, yours would go here, and Daniel, yours would go right there. So now we have finished our DIY home wreath, and we're gonna go place it in their temporary Oregon home. Make it a little Christmas and cozy. I think you did a good job.
Yes.
Okay, come on.
Lavender.
Well, Dan, Carol, thank you so much for joining me here at Crowley House to make a beautiful wreath. We are so excited to have you for a week here at our farm and just learn a little bit about what we do as far as flower farmers, and just using what's available to us on the farm and what you can do at home that's just there. I think we're going to do a few other projects while you're here. Maybe get a tree and just decorate it with some stuff that we have locally, maybe some dried fruits, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I think it would be really fun and special, and also to be able to share with your other viewers and kind of ways, how would you decorate with this? So
Yes, and I think this is gonna, if Vandy was here, Dan,
Yeah.
what do you think? Picking the blue, it would match our
Perfectly.
home on the road, and or your overland vehicle, and it's just neat to spend time with you, Beth, and to be able to be here on the farm and learn that it isn't that hard to make something so beautiful.
even Carol can make
If
a
I
wreath.
can do it.
You
Yes.
can do it.
I can camp well, but
Carol,
I
I can totally see this on your Jeep, your new Jeep.
Yes.
Don't you
this would
think
look
with that
gorgeous.
blue bow, the white, it would sparkle and say Christmas?
Yes, it was really fun, and this is something, like you said, I love it. It brings, the family together, community together, and that's what we're all about. So thank you so much,
You're
guys.
welcome. It was super fun.
And we'll see you down the road.
Me too. Bye.